This is why I love Gene Simmons. He just gives zero fucks about being cool or nice or polite or any of that shit. The man just wants his fucking money. Unrepentant fucking greedy douchebag. This is the Punk Rock MBA. Today, I am back with another viewer comments, questions, whatever video. If you get a question about marketing, if you want to talk to me about pop punk, if you want to talk to me about RPGs, you know what to do. Drop it in the comments. Let's talk. First up, in response to my video, 3 things I hate and love about the music industry, where I basically complained about how fucking unprofessional people in the music business are. Here's what CJ Coronado had to say.
Music industry, the only place you can not do your job and are still allowed to come to work the next day. I love working behind the scenes in this industry, but good God, I don't understand how so many people keep getting away with saying they will do X, Y, or Z and not doing anything at all, or why you would even bother making a commitment in the first place if you don't plan on following through.
CJ, I don't know what to tell you. You are preaching to the choir, my man. If this sounds enraging or irritating or frustrating to any of you guys out there, do yourself a favor and don't work in the music industry, because that's what it's all about. People who say they're gonna do something and then don't fucking do it. On the same topic from BDWit66.
Reminds me of some sage wisdom I received back in 2001. 90% of the music business is showing up on time. It doesn't matter how good you are if you aren't there.
Man, I wish you were right about this, but sadly, it seems like in the music business, it doesn't matter if you show up on time. A lot of the most talented, successful people I know are also the biggest fucking flakes. So everything you just said completely applies in the real world, in real jobs. Showing up on time matters, and it matters a lot. In the music industry, I wish I could say that it mattered a lot, but I'm honestly not sure that it does. Random comment on the same video about Gene Simmons. I just thought this was kind of funny and awesome.
From Albus Band, that dude is beyond on the marketing trail. Crazy example told to me by the manager at Guitar Center. They used to play random music or let employees play their own stuff. Well, Gene walked in, heard a Kiss song, and had it pulled from stores unless it got licensed.
This is why I love Gene Simmons. He just gives zero fucks about being cool or nice or polite or any of that shit. The man just wants his fucking money. I love it. My favorite quote, he was on NPR, and I should say Gene Simmons seems like a just massive douchebag, so when I say I love it, being somewhat facetious. Anyway, he was on NPR, and the Terry Gross, I think, asked him like, well, why do you need 2 Bentleys? And he said, my dear, if you have to ask that question, you'll never even have one. This is why I love Gene Simmons, just unrepentant fucking greedy douchebag. It's so good. Okay, another video that came out this week was in regard to the topic of singles versus albums. My friend Dan Surf, who manages Black Veil Brides, and Zach Wilde and some other artists came on. We both suggested that for a new up-and-coming band, you focus on singles. Had some great conversations in the comments. Here's a couple of them. From Ricardo Marambio.
Interesting. I think this makes sense if you want to quote-unquote make it. Of course, if you make music in your home studio where time and money are not that much of an issue, you have to stick to your artistic vision and do what makes more sense to you. If you want to make an album because that's what you got inspired to do, go for it. If you want to release just one song to see what the impact on your social media is, then based on that, maybe go on a tour and make it in the music quote-unquote business. This is the way to go, I guess.
I don't think it's quite that simple. What most musicians want is to be noticed. So to Ricardo's point, for sure, if you like in your heart are dead set on making an album, that's all you want to do, and you don't give a fuck if anybody ever notices it or cares about it or buys it, then by all means, yeah, put out an album. Like, follow your heart. Do what you want to do as an artist. But if you want to be noticed, if you want to attract attention, if you want people to find your music, then you might want to do some of the stuff that we talked about in the video. So focus on singles, focus on creating one really great song that people will notice, couple that with some sort of interesting visual like cover art, music videos. That is what we recommend as the way of kind of cutting through all the noise. Comment on that same video from Lee Allen.
I've always seen singles as promotional material for an album rather than something in its own right. As an analogy, a single is like reading the first chapter of a book in a bookshop and then deciding you want to buy the entire book. I think bands should release singles, but only if they have something to follow it up with.
So what Lee's talking about here is more or less the same way people have approached albums for the past, I don't know, what, 40 years or something like that. You write the whole album, you record it, and then you release one song at a time, hoping that people pick up on one of those and then they want to hear more, so they go buy the album, right? Well, that can work, obviously, because people do that, but I would argue that there is more value in putting out a constant stream of new songs, learning from each one, what worked, what didn't work, what people liked, what people didn't like, not just about the material itself, but also how you promote it, to just iterate and constantly put out new stuff and get a little bit better every time until you have reached critical mass and you can tell that there's all this like pent up latent demand. People are asking you, dude, when's the fucking album coming out? That is the time to release the album. Don't release the album until people are asking for it, in my opinion. So Ed OM has a comment here which I think puts it really well, kind of echoes what I am trying to say, although maybe he said it a little bit better than I did.
No one has the crystal ball to say, yes, this song makes money, and the same goes for an album. My advice is to write a lot of songs, trash them, rewrite them, work with other people and not alone, and then maybe release a single. I see a lot of frantic bands releasing songs after songs. For me, this is as wrong as releasing an album after 6 months of rehearsing. Bands and songwriters need time to develop skills and understanding how to write decent pieces of music. Don't waste money and time in the first 10 or 20 songs you wrote.
I love this approach. He has a really smart idea. You don't have to release everything that you record, and same with like writing. There's lots of stuff I've written or videos I've recorded that I never put out because I don't really think they turned out that well. But I still learned a lot from the process of making them, even though I never put it out. Great idea. I love that. Iterate, 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 and never, ever, ever let yourself off the hook. Insist on the highest standard. And lastly, a question from Goldline Audio regarding marketing.
Speaking truths, as always, doing something you're proud of with friends is one of the best feelings in the world. Great video, man. Random question. Are books on marketing and Google Analytics any good / relevant for learning? I heard that sometimes the field changes so quickly that blogs and forums are best because the stuff changes so quickly.
So my answer is both. They're good for different things. So books like these here, they're gonna teach you stuff that never changes, such as statistical significance, or I don't know, like foundational principles of branding, stuff like that. Books are great for that kind of stuff. If you wanna learn an overview of a concept in general, if you wanna learn the fundamentals, I think books are great for that. If you want to learn the specific, like tactical shit, then I think blogs, forums, YouTube, stuff like that is definitely the way to go. So I would do both, because if you only know the specific tactical shit, then you're missing the big picture. But if you only know the big picture, well, then you're useless because you don't know how to actually do the shit. So I would do both. Read a small number of books to give you the big picture. You don't need much. And then once you understand the big picture, the foundational principles, then focus your energy on learning the tactical shit. And most importantly, put it into action. Like, do not be one of these people that just reads and reads and reads and reads and never does shit. It doesn't mean anything until you actually fucking do it. Okay, guys, I'm gonna sign off for now. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would subscribe. If you are already subscribed, or for some strange reason you do not want to subscribe, well, that's okay. Actually, it's not really okay. I lied. But please like the video, leave a comment, share it with a friend. Anything that you can do to help spread the word would be very much appreciated. I am going to sign off for now, but I will see you next time.